Hello, well, friends, and welcome to the Wellness Social Worker Podcast, Untangled. I am your host, Rolanda Brown Dennis, the Wellness Social Worker. And today, my guest, my beautiful, gorgeous, intelligent,
Not
positive energy guest
too much,
is.
not too much. Hey everyone, as you know, I'm Honey Roan, the agent of change.
Yay! And we also have with us today Miss Dana with Knotz and Mane, and I am so excited to hear about all that you do. I've heard some, but I can't wait to hear like everything um on today's episode. And so, without holding up any further, Miss Dana, please tell us who you are, what you do, and how you got into it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm Dana Brewer. First of all, first and foremost, I am a mother and a grandmother. That's my biggest job. Raising
Aw.
healthy individuals and knowing that I love them and that we love them and that's what matters in the world is family. That's my job. And my second, well, oh gosh, what do I do? I think my first job is showing the individuals that I love them. So I'm an administrator at a school with challenged children, and my job is to tell them that I am tough on them, I still love them.
Yeah.
So that has become my second job. While I don't need this job, it's still very important to me. And I have become very important to these children.
Yeah.
So that has taken it has taken a very big role in my life.
Yeah.
Um, but I am the owner of Knotz Mane. I am studying to be a master clinical herbalist.
Oh.
That is my baby. That is my job. That is my business. And that is where my passion lies right now, outside of raising healthy individuals that know that they're loved.
Oh.
I do so many things. I wear a lot of hats these days. There's jobs that are taken backseat. I also own the Elamisha LLC, which is a baking business. That was my first business, my first baby, but herbs have taken over. Herbs have taken over. I still do have a passion for cooking and baking, but that passion is leading into teaching. So I don't physically bake anymore. I'll teach, but I don't physically bake anymore. My biggest love right now is herbs. I love plants.
I love herbs. I that would be an ultimate like dream of mine is to be an herbalist.
Mm-hmm.
I think Honey and I have both been on this quest to like identify like the best school of herbalism that we can like access. You see so many different like this program here and pay $59 for this and blah blah blah. And it's like no,
Yeah,
can I get a school? Can I
yeah,
don't just pass me
yeah,
like one little hour course. Like I need a school like an instructor to talk to, please something. So
yeah, yes. It is very hard.
how did you go about like getting into working in the school system, your herbalism? Because listening to you, I feel like they all align with each other. There's like a balance and benefit to like all of it. So what drove you to go in that towards that avenue?
I think I started creating my own products because I was starting to have a real serious reaction to chemicals in commercial products.
Hmm.
So I just started kind of playing around with shea butters and natural butters and so forth. So I started creating my own products, which kind of led into people wanting to purchase them. So it started at small flea markets and so forth, where I was able to get out into the public and sell products. Then COVID struck. There was no
Mm,
getting out. There was no selling products that way. So I was stuck home with my husband because I had made the decision to quit the corporate world and do this full time
yeah.
to seek my business dream full time. So now we're stuck home and I can't get into the world and sell anything. And I was stuck home with my husband and I was driving him crazy. I was like, I gotta do something. And that's when I started to look for a study, a course to study or herbalism, to
Mhm,
just to learn more about the products and the ingredients that I was putting into my products and how to improve those. So that
mhm,
led into the studying of herbalism, just the studying. So I found the course that I wanted to take. And while I was doing one of my projects, we had to order herbs. So I ordered herbs not knowing anything about ordering herbs. So yeah, I ordered like a pound of like 5 different herbs or a few different herbs. And when they came in 3 very large boxes,
oh.
very, very large boxes, and I just kind of freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm doing with all of this. And my husband just kind of looked at me and he said, well, it looks like you're selling herbs now. And I was like, well, I guess that's what we're doing. So that's how the whole selling herbs started and studying. It was a
Okay,
lot.
okay. So I heard you say you were talking about, the pandemic and then, branching into your business and then the reactions that you also were having to the commercial grade products. And it makes me think about um, like the mental aspect of facing those challenges of when you're experiencing the reactions, not knowing, what's in your what are you putting in your body, and then like how that actually affects us, like our skin breathing and taking in, these products that have these chemicals, in it and stuff like that. So can you tell me like what are some of the benefits of the herbs and how that could, affect individuals in a positive way for, just mental well-being or just the relaxation of knowing what you're putting on your skin is good, or in ingesting,
Right.
whether it's a tea or whatever.
Well, a lot of people don't, well, they, I guess you just don't think about it, but the skin is the largest organ on our body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of people don't think about their skin only as something that absorbs. They just think, oh, my skin is something that protects my body. My skin is something that just protects the stuff that's inside my body. They don't think about my skin absorbs everything that I put on it. So everything that I put on my skin is being ingested into my body. So they don't
Right.
think about it that way. So all of the chemicals, anything that's not natural, all of the stuff that's chemical in the world, cancer causing, that you put on your body, you're absorbing that into your bloodstream, into your system. So a lot of people that have psoriasis or eczema is direct
Mm,
contact dermatitis. They're having an
mm,
allergic reaction to something that they're putting on their skin, which of course, if it's on your skin, on your surface, on your face, you're going to be self-conscious about it and you're going to be affected by it mentally. Not
right.
only physically, but mentally. You're going to feel like people are looking at your skin. They're looking at you. They're, oh, I'm a freak, or however they react to it mentally. Um, so yeah, so what they put on there, what happens to your skin and what happens to your body and what happens to your appearance, some affects people to a certain degree,
Yeah.
whether it's slightly or greatly. Your appearance does affect people. So I am affected by chemicals no matter what it is. My freak
Mm.
out moment was I was getting married. I think I permed my hair, and I had a rash down to my forehead, all the way
Oh,
down on my forehead. It was in my scalp. I knew that because my scalp was affected, but it was starting to come down onto my forehead. So I finally went to the dermatologist. We don't go to the doctor about our skin. We try to fix it
yeah,
ourselves, rub this on it or rub that on it. But because
yeah,
I was getting ready to get married, I actually went to the dermatologist and he told me it was the perm. It's the perm. Is what are you putting on your face? So again, this is why I started studying the actual ingredients that I'm putting into my skin
yeah,
creams so that I could improve upon the formula. So a
yeah,
lot of young ladies, their faces break out. Even young men, their faces break out, and their faces break out in a normal T-zone is usually where the hair falls on their face, on the nose, on the
mm,
cheeks, around the chin and forehead, and it's the hair products is what they're putting
mm-hmm,
in their hair, and just
mm-hmm,
simply wearing their hair off their face or changing what they're putting in their hair. If they don't have, there are other serious acne problems that you can't attribute to this, but a lot of the contact dermatitis problems are directly associated with the chemicals they're putting in their hair.
wow,
And of course, it's your face. It's your face.
mm-hmm,
Everybody's looking at your face. So depending on your degree of allergic reaction, it's either going to be severe bumpy redness and swelling or just massive swelling in those areas, or even just slightly bumpiness. But you can tell that it's a contact dermatitis problem if it's in those areas and it's constant and you use commercial chemicals on your hair and face. You can test it by wearing your hair off of your face for a little while, washing your face like twice a day and seeing if it clears up. If it clears up, then that's it.
yeah, yeah. That is so wild because it's interesting that you say that because I just recently I had braids in my hair and growing up I used to that was the protective style to go to,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
I never remember having a reaction to it until recently when I got my hair braided, and I can remember like I was real cute, I was
Mm-hmm.
looking real nice, but the way I
Yep.
was digging and scratching my head, and I was like, what is
Crashing
going like yeah, like what is going on? I was talking to someone, and they were like, it's the chemicals that they're putting in their braiding hair.
in the hair.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I just paid, $200 for this. I don't want to take it out, but my
Yeah.
head, my head is itching. So let
Mm-hmm.
me figure out how I can solve this, and kind of go from
Mm-hmm.
there. And then just listening to you just explain it in depth, it makes me think about how we are, we're taught to, use these products from childhood,
Exactly.
and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to name any brands, but the cocoa
Mm-hmm.
butters
Mm-hmm.
and then the
The
sheen spray.
petroleum oil. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, the
yeah.
petroleum oil. Please. I was like, please no, please don't. One of my
The
customers came in
spritz.
and said, oh, no, nothing else works. I was like, please no. Yeah, the spritz. Hmm.
Yeah, like
All of
all of
that.
these things to acquire what seems to be normal or fitting in, to
Hmm.
lay our hair down or to make our skin pop or even to have this the scent to it.
Hmm.
Whether it be like vanilla or something like that. Um Not realizing that that's not even like the natural scent of it. There's a
Right.
lot of stuff that's
It's
put
not the
into
natural
it.
fragrance.
Yeah, in order for that fragrance to
Hmm.
even, come, come out the way way it's supposed to. So what would you say is like the best approach in like educating people about this? Because it's the number of people that we can see in the big chain stores, again, not naming any stores. I don't want nobody coming for me, but
Hmm.
going down the ethnic aisle to get the skincare creams and all that other stuff. Like, how do you, even in the age of things supposed to be like natural now and being sold at stores, what's the best course of action for being able to make sure that you're getting the right quality product without all the chemicals?
Read labels. Read the labels. Read the labels. Now, some of the natural products might have the botanical names are kind of long and weird. So make
Mm,
sure you read the labels, and the long and weird name is a natural product. Like cocoa butter has a strange botanical name, but on product labels we have to list the name, the standard name, but you also have to list the botanical name. So you can look up the product names on the labels, and chemicals are basically chemicals. They're chemicals. It's going to tell you it's a chemical.
yeah.
So the best thing I can suggest is if you're shopping in the store, you're not shopping, natural, a person that makes their products or a small individual natural product is read the labels and look up the ingredients on the products.
Are there
Mm.
any particular ingredients that we should specifically look out for to make sure that those things are not in our skincare?
There are, we're just not gonna again say names, but preservatives. There are particular preservatives that cause cancer. And
Mm-hmm.
the product should be marked these days. The product is supposed to be marked these days. But there are particular chemicals that cause cancer, and they are in products.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I just try to stay away from preservatives altogether. There are natural preservatives like citric acid, um, vitamin E. There are natural preservatives that can be used, but I tend to stay away from all preservatives in all of my products.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your because your teas. You make teas, correct?
Mhm.
Tell
I
tell us about your
do.
teas.
Honey made me make teas. I
Again.
didn't want to. I
And
did
now you
not want
love
to
it.
do it. No, I don't. I don't, but I have to because, now I have customers coming in asking for particular blends, honey, particular ones that someone created. Um, and so now I do have to make particular blends, the ones that are the most popular, and it's not hard to understand, are the ones that relieve stress. Mostly
Mm,
PMS associated teas or teas that relieve stress. I get the biggest request for insomnia and stress. Anything for
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, those are the biggest requests.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many different herbs that you can use. So at least that
There
part we
are.
can have like a variety of different herbs. You can just send them for their preference and stuff.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
having to be very careful about what you suggest to certain people when they come in and kind of asking particular questions to make sure this person isn't suffering depression. Like, I don't want to
right.
suggest an herb to someone when they need to go speak to someone professionally, because
Yeah.
herbs do affect you in particular ways, especially St. John's wort, that affects mood greatly, to the
Mm,
milder, like the ashwagandha. However, depending on the person's depression level, um, those herbs could either affect them negatively or positively. So I actually have to
mm,
dig around for a few questions to see if I want to suggest anything to them, or if I want to suggest
mm,
that they maybe go speak to someone, and being
mm-hmm,
very careful about it. um,
mm-hmm,
because we do want to make sure that this person gets the help that they need. But if I get someone that comes in and their general um anxiety level and stress level is work. I'm having a hard time getting sleep because I'm busy. I'm always thinking about work. I don't have time. My brain won't wind down. Then I can
mm,
help that person with a tea. and give them a routine maybe at the end of the night, or giving them tips about how to maybe steal away for a few days to just sit down, take a breather, and have a cup of tea. Or if it's the end of the night, to maybe stop your night 30 minutes early to sit down with a book and a cup of tea. Not just the cup of tea, it has to be the whole routine, the whole wind down routine to make your brain
Right.
stop and break.
Right.
Along with the cup of tea to help, whatever that is. That could be sitting in the backyard and listen to the crickets with your cup of tea. Whatever that is that makes your brains, whatever that makes you feel at peace, that you can do within your living restrictions, or within your travel restrictions, or even your lifestyle restrictions. Whatever space you're in that allows you to take a mental break and just say, okay, this is my time for my brain to not think about any of that and enjoy my cup of tea. To take that before you go to bed, and allow that mental break for your brain to just stop and get into the routine of that to be able to get a restful night's sleep. I can help that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's big too, because we always get, so wrapped up in the hustle and bustle, and having the actual practice of mindfulness and having someone hold us accountable for having a routine that's going to allot that time for mindfulness and
Right.
give, our brain, our body that rest that we need so that we can better function, in the next day and the days to come. I think that that's a huge factor in just daily, operations. I wish that you could be on a bullhorn and just shout that out to everybody.
That really, brain, you need to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is where your body repairs. Your body repairs.
Yeah.
You need to sleep. And we as adults get so busy, and we want to get the max out of our days, the
Yep.
max out of our nights. We push it until when we're laying down, our brain just doesn't know how to stop. You're
And
already planning for the
sometimes,
next day, and the next day hasn't started yet. You're already
right,
running your list for
right.
the next day. Instead of saying,
Yep.
okay, this day is over. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna take my break, and we'll think about tomorrow when I get up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, even considering like if you're watching TV, what you're watching as well. Because even though you could be, laying in the bed or laying on the couch, resting, your brain is still going, processing not only your day, but
Right.
what you're watching on TV, but you still sipping your tea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm. No, right.
yeah,
Right.
that's not. And then
That's not it.
we see that our kids are conditioned to operate in that same manner of
Yep.
the go, 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 go. And I like to, tell not just my clients, but others that I speak to, it's like, think about a car, right? You don't just leave a car running. Like right now, our cars are outside and it's resting. Because if we
Right.
leave that car on, that key in the ignition, and it's going and going and going and going, it's gonna break down. Same
Right.
thing is going to happen with your body if you do not give it that time to rest. Like, we don't always have to be busy. We don't always have to, like,
Exactly.
keep on going. Yeah. And
Exactly.
model that
Honey.
for the kids.
You hear that, honey?
Get her.
First of
These
all,
young
what you're not about
people,
to
I
do.
mean, I have to tell them. I have two in particular. Honey is listening well, but I have another employee, and she comes in, she says, no, Miss Dana, no, I can work 7 days a week. And I'm looking at her going, no, 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 I like working 7 days a week. I said, everybody needs a day off. Nobody can work 7 days a week. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not healthy either. And she
Yeah.
said, no, 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 Miss Dana, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So she called in the first night. I was like, And then finally
Mm-hmm.
she said, Miss Dana, I can't do it. I need a day off.
Yeah.
And my response was, what I told you. you
I
know,
remember that day.
so yeah, yeah. So
I
I
can't
have to
believe
And
tell
then
she's
them.
gone.
and them
Oh yeah, you gotta take a
actually,
back and tell them to take a pause. Like
yeah,
I could see the tired in her face. And one day it
Yeah.
was
yeah,
like taking responsibility from Honey was like uh, um it was like I was taking her baby because she takes pride in whatever she's doing.
yeah,
So when I'm
yeah.
telling her, you got to let go, like you got to let go now, and she's not letting me take it from her, and I'm like yelling at her, you got to
I
let
took
go.
it
And it
from
took
you.
me and her mom to jump on her to let her make her let go. I understand her passion, but I always told her from the beginning, if I see you struggling, I'm going to say something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
finally let go, and she smiles and she's happier and she looks happier now.
yeah. That physical and that
You know?
mental go hand in hand. They're both just as important. You have to give, your body that opportunity to have that rest physically, and
Yeah.
mentally. That's
Mhm.
so super important. I wanted to I
Right.
wanted to transition into talking about the your teaching. You teach children, right? And how did you go about getting into that?
Oh, no, not teaching these kids. I don't teach them. I'm the administrator.
Okay.
So I got hot. Well, I say so. I got diagnosed with cancer in 2021. Was it 2021?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I think so,
2021.
yeah.
And yeah, I think it was October, either
It
not
was like
October or
September,
November.
October.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
So it was like a few weeks before.
cancer takes me a lot. Yeah, I remember it was right before Thanksgiving. It had to be right before Thanksgiving because I
Hmm.
didn't get to eat Thanks. But yeah, I kind of did eat Thanksgiving dinner. But um, anyway, that's another story. So cancer takes a lot out of your budget. It takes, our savings was wiped out. So right after I was cleared to go back to work, I went back to work. And not really wanting to go back into the corporate world because that's just kind of high stress level, and I've always had kind of physical or just had um I've had what would you call it? My brain just went blank. Like pain type issues, chronic issues. I didn't want to go
Okay.
back into the whole corporate world. So this
Gotcha.
job came about and I applied for it, and it just seemed easier. I get off at 3, I can still manage the shop. I get off early enough to do that. So yeah, I started there, bald head and all, no hair. And
But still
I don't
beautiful.
know why I'm still there. I don't know why I'm still there. I don't need to be there
Yes, you
now.
do.
We've rebounded. I don't those kids, man, those kids. I am the administrator, but if you're in there anytime during the day, you'll hear several times during the day, go to Miss Dana's office. Go to
Hmm.
Miss Dana's office. And Honey will tell you if she calls me FaceTime, I'm usually surrounded by kids. They
Hmm.
won't leave me alone.
The
They
amount
will
of
not leave me
times like
alone.
I'll be on the phone with my D and I'll randomly mid conversation I just hear her say, "What did you do now? Why are you here? Why are you in my office? Why aren't you supposed to be in class?" And they're just like, "They told me to come over here. You got any snacks?" Like she's just like, "What? Why are you bothering me?"
I honestly, seriously, I don't know why I'm still there. I don't need to be there. But it's like I've taken this role of kind of grandma, auntie, administrator when they can talk to me and I can manage to get them to calm down and get going
Yeah.
back to class and stop cutting up so that they don't get in further trouble.
Yeah.
Um, so they sit there, I hear, go to Miss Dana's office, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get no work done today. So they just kind of,
Yeah.
stuck on me.
I know
You got a
mentally
lot of love,
for
D.
I kind of,
say again, honey.
No, I'm saying she has a lot of love to give. So she's just in a position where there's kids who need it and she can give it.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
she be fussing at them. but they be laughing about it
Oh
too. They
yeah.
love it. They just love messing with her.
I know that you know, for school or just different settings, mentally for the kids, it's been hard. I mean, it was already hard, you know, before the pandemic, and even more so afterwards, because families were already working hard, and
Yeah.
now afterwards is working a lot harder. And so I think maybe for them to be able to have someone of good energy like yourself to, like, be around, even if it is to kind of like poke, just to get something out of you, it
Yeah.
helps, their mental well-being of feeling important and included. I think that's awesome. I think that's real awesome.
I
Yeah.
think with a lot of these kids, nobody actually sits down and takes the time to speak to them like young adults, the young adults that they are, the ones that get
Mhm.
sent to my classroom. And when I sit down and I talk to them like the young adults that they are. And I make them talk about it and then tell me what they think they did wrong. What do you think is going to happen here? What do you think the
Mhm.
outcome is going to be if you make the decision not to continue school? What do you think your future looks like if you do this? What do you want out of life? We aren't
Yeah.
making you be here. This here is the end road for you. You're here because this is the end road. So what happens if you step off of this road? What happens to
Yeah.
you? So a lot of people don't sit down and talk to them in that way because it is the end road for a lot of these kids. After
Mhm.
this, there is no other school that's going to take them back into the system. And then what happens to you? Do you want to go to college? Do you want a life? Do you have dreams? I make them several of them. I know exactly what they want to do when they finish. When they finish, well, that's not going to
Yeah.
happen if you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of sitting down and talking to them, even when they're mad, even when they're angry and they're cussing and carrying on. And I'm sitting there looking at them like, what's that going to solve? What's he
Yeah.
going to do? So a lot of the times they'll leave my office and they might still be a little angry, but they'll shut up. They'll be
Yeah.
quiet and they'll do what they have to do. And some of them even will come back with determination to get it done. So
Yeah.
sometimes they have bad days. And I hear, go to Miss Dana's office. Oh, here they come. So, you just talk to them, even the little ones. You just got to talk to them sometime. Like, they're going to have a little outburst. They're going to have bad days sometimes. And you just need to sit there and talk to them for a few minutes. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's all they need. Some of them are coming in hungry. They don't have food. They don't get to eat. Some of
Yeah.
them are coming in without all their needs met. So
Yeah.
that's
And
that's
I
then
that's
can
to
the
have
role
that
I've
listening
taken,
ear.
kind of.
I can attest to that. When one thing about Miss Dana, whether when she, especially when she's meeting new people, she gives you the opportunity to show her like who you are and who you want to be. And there's never like kind of like those conversations where it's just like you feel like you're being talked at. Like there's always like the feeling like I'm having a mutual conversation and your age doesn't really make a difference. Like that your age isn't important to her. Like if you say that this is how you feel, this is how you feel, this is what you want, this is what you want. And I can say I can confidently say that age doesn't matter because I see it even with like how you deal with Maya and Ari, which is like two of her granddaughters. There's 8 and 7 now,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
they're one of the most outspoken and confident and independent little girls I have ever met in my life. From the moment I met them, they're just like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This my Granny. And we're about to get it going. Like they
Well,
have like their own little business now, and it's booming because they're so confident in themselves and their capabilities because
yeah.
they're surrounded by people who actually believe in them. And
Yeah.
I think I feel like Miss Dana don't really give herself as much credit as she deserves to like the way that she kind of carries people up. Because there's so many people that like I can who know Miss Dana are just like, yeah, like I can not see her for 10 years and I'm gonna turn into the same baby she met the first day. Cause there's just like an everlasting love that she has for people. She doesn't make you feel like any of the problems that you've had define you. It's just like, okay, well, what do you want to define you and how do we get there?
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's
There's
really,
potential.
really
You have to
beautiful.
sometimes, there's the potential is there. So, let's talk about how to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just to have
So
somebody that's openly willing to have those conversations. Like you said, be able
Yes.
to actually sit down with them and talk about it. Going back to the busy lifestyle, nobody again and I know growing up for some families, not for all, but it used to be you could sit at the table and talk about your day and have dinner and things like that. When I was growing
Right.
up, it was on the peak of the dashboard dining, because that was like the new thing to like, oh wait, we're eating McDonald's in the car and different stuff like in the 80s, way in the 80s. But
Yeah.
now it's so much more common to do dashboard dining or okay, you got this food and this person's in the room and that person's in the room and this person's here and
Yeah.
everybody is doing something. There's no actual like authentic
Yeah.
conversation and there's no accountability that is being put on to the kids to, you know, meet the standards that they have for themselves, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of like,
Right.
yeah, I have these goals, I have these dreams that nobody believes in me. And then they come and they talk to you, and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. It's that
mm-hmm.
then they're motivated.
Yeah.
They're motivated
Yeah.
from that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have kids that if you look at them, a lot of kids are going to be, a lot of people would be afraid of them, like from just their appearance. And from day one, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of
Mm,
you. I'm not going to treat you like I'm afraid of you because I'm not, first of all. Um, and at first they didn't really care for me because I am very direct. I'm sorry, my allergies. I have
nope, you're
terrible
fine.
allergies. And it just seems they are acting up now. But I treat them like I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of any of them. I'm not gonna treat them like that. I think that they all have potential. What do you want to do? It just takes
Yeah.
you believing that you could do it.
Mm,
So they know that I have expectations. No one else
mm,
has expectations. I have expectations for you. So unless you're telling me that you're doing that, I don't want to hear anything else.
yeah.
There's this one kid, I walked up to the school one day and there were two probation officers out there talking to him. And I went straight for him. The probation officer was like, is that his mom? And they were like, no, that's Miss Dana, because he started to run. And they were like, oh, okay, well, it looks like she has him. We'll call him later. I went straight for him. He ran straight to my office and I just closed the door. Why are they here? What did you do? They know what I expect. So by the time they he left my office, he fully understood. I don't want to see them people ever
Yeah.
again. So he came to school one day and he said, Miss Dana, I'm off probation. I said, you're off probation. You're off. And he said, yeah, Miss Dana, I'm off. I said, we're not ever doing that again, are we? And he said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, we're not doing that again. I said, okay. They know that I have expectations of them. I don't care if your mother
Yeah.
has, I have expectations for you. So if you get in trouble, I'm going to say something to you. And
Yeah.
they don't like to disappoint me.
Yeah. It's the act
Yeah.
of love that you actually give. A lot of,
Yeah.
the word love is thrown around without the action that goes, behind it.
Right.
And, sometimes what's written on paper, behavior wise, it looks bad, but that could be anybody. If anybody's life situations are put on paper, it may read, negatively, but until you actually get to know that person, especially when they're a youth, and know that they're growing and they're trying to navigate and find their way through life, they need somebody to just be like, hey, no,
Right.
this isn't
We're
what
not
we're
doing
gonna
this.
do. And I'm pretty sure
This
years
is the way to
down the
behave.
line, he's gonna appreciate it even more. Even
Mm-hmm.
more, he'll
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
is not the way we're gonna behave.
yeah. I wanted to piggyback on how you've been saying potential a lot, and it makes me think about how and when you're in social service professions, we like one of the things we always talk about is modeling. So it's like, if we want behavior from our client or from someone that we're talking to, we have to show them what that behavior looks like and that is possible. So for being, with the journey that you had where it comes from building a business, maintaining a business, going through your cancer and recovery journey, how did you kind of encourage yourself and remind yourself of your potential and your capabilities? Because it's easy to
Oh,
encourage other people, but how is
Hmm.
it that you kind of remind yourself that this is what you're doing and that you're meant to be in this position?
oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, there are times now, especially through the cancer journey where I was just, like this is too much. I really just think that I want to stop. I just want to stop and I just want to stop and not do anything else. And I've had my days where I've had to push through and say, no, just don't make this decision right now. Just do the minimal and just, keep things going and just don't make the decision right now. There are days where my husband has had to tell me, don't make that decision right now because I was ready just to shut it all down. I was just ready to go
Mhm.
sit on the beach and just not think about anything else, just not think about it anymore, not think about business or, you know, in full honesty, there's no way that I could have ever done that. Like my brain is just way too creative. I'm always creating something. I'm always doing something. If I'm not writing, I'm baking or I'm cooking or I'm always doing something. There's no way that would have worked for me. So just giving up, which I've never given up very easily on anything, giving up on everything that I've built because I was struggling, really struggling with the worst, you know, thing that I've ever had to do, illness wise in my life. Giving up right then just didn't seem like the right thing to do. So it's just, I'm struggling to get through it, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. And I
Look at
think that's
everything I'm doing now,
important to, I think that's important to, you know, to understand. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because now, not just with youth, but with adults as well, people look at everyone else's lives and they see the glamour and the glitz, they see like the outcome, but nobody ever
Mm-hmm,
speaks on like the journey of what you go through,
Mhm.
like the ups
mm-hmm.
and downs and those moments where you're just like, oh my gosh, do I want to continue? Do I not want to continue? And so, when they are aspiring to be like the individuals that they're following, or that they may know has a business and all this other stuff, and they start on their own, and the moment it gets kind of rough, it's like, wait, why is this happening to me? Like so and so business is
Yes,
thriving, blah blah blah, but they don't realize the number of hours and finance that they had to put into actually, like,
put in.
building it. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it ends up taking a mental toll as well, because you know how they say you're your own worst critic, you know,
Yeah.
over
Yep.
analyzing yourself and criticizing yourself because you're looking at what the next person is doing and not understanding that like your journey is your journey, you can't compare your journey to the other person's journey, but know that you're not just gonna get the outcome. You have to take the journey.
Yeah.
Right,
You
right.
have to take the journey.
And you were very open with your journey when you were going through what you were going through. Like if you needed a day to rest, like, and it wasn't a lot of times because you pointing me out like I haven't had to tell you to go home and lay down. We gonna talk about that later. But I have seen her where it was days where it was just particularly hard. And you would just make a quick flyer and just like y'all, because she's very open on the Instagram that we have. And she was just like, y'all, I had chemo yesterday or I had chemo this morning. I'm feeling a little bit icky. I'm not coming in today. We're gonna be closed.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a rest day. And I think that also kind of made the business feel a little bit more personal to the customers, especially those of us
Mm-hmm.
who are like regulars, because
Mm-hmm.
we felt like Miss Dana was a part of our family. And it's just like we're seeing someone that we cherish going through something so intimate and letting us know what it is that she's going through and how she's dealing with it and like the journey and stuff like that. It wasn't just like a one day,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not feeling good. This is what I'm going through. And then the next like 3 months later, all of a sudden we're fine. And we're just like, well, how did we get here? Like we
Yeah.
went through the journey with her and it kind of just made everything a little bit more special. Cause now when we're booming with business, it's not just like this unexpected thing. Like we're still seeing the same people and there's like a passion being like poured back into us from the customers because they love like Ms. Dano so much and they love the business so much and they know how much it means to her. Like this isn't like one of those places where it's just like money hungry.
Yeah.
Like especially like the amount of like it's happened a few times where there have been customers who we know they need help and they may not be able to afford it and they're just like really, really sick. Ms. Dana's just like, give it to them.
Yeah.
Just give it to them.
It's the transparency and authenticity that
Yeah.
really draws people in because let's face it, we live in a society now where there's a high percentage of fakeness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're
Yeah.
able to find somebody that represents, realness, it it's wholesome. It's wholesome and you can look at the screen and watch and you feel like, oh my gosh, I know this person. You feel a part of the family. As I mean, we all see the ads that fly around all the time and the Instagram reels that are, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. But when you find a business that is really transparent and really authentic, you want to support that because you're not dealing with a robot. It's a real
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? And it makes the quality just that much more like better, you know? So yeah.
Well, the business I want to build, I don't know about everybody else's business, but the business I want to build, I want to have customers that can talk to me. That when they come in, that I don't care what you are, what you do, that doesn't matter. None of that matters to me. It's just that you should be able to talk to me, and I should be able to talk to you. And I want everybody that walks in my door to feel comfortable. I want them to feel at home. I want my employees to be in a workspace where they feel comfortable, they feel at home, they feel accepted. I also want them to be in an environment where they don't have to lie to me and say, Miss Dana, I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want us to be in an environment where, like, honey goes, Miss Dana, I had a long day yesterday. I studied, and I'm tired. I can't come in today. Fine, we got it covered. So that's the kind of business I want to build, is where we're real people.
Yeah.
We're real people. We have real life struggles. We have everyday struggles, and we have each other's back. We have,
Mm-hmm.
if you're struggling and you can't do it, one of us can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be fake. Just tell me, just talk to me, just tell me what it is you need. And if it is a way that I can help you, then I can help you. If it is you just need to be off or whatever, then fine, we got it covered, even if that means I have to come in. But that's the
Yeah.
kind of company I want to build, is that we are real people. We can be real with each other. We don't have to lie to one another. And this is a safe, healthy, happy environment.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's gonna come to pass. It's gonna manifest.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get
I say,
exactly that. Even if honey in Miami, she gonna work remote.
No,
don't bring that up, because
no. I'm not looking forward to that day.
Oh, neither
You know,
am
we
I.
still have your picture. You know, your picture is still hanging up. You know that picture you took when you first started?
yeah, there
That
was
Polaroid.
I think I was
That
working there for
Polaroid.
maybe a month at most, and
Yeah,
like an old
it's
friend
still there.
came to visit.
Everybody knows that's honey. She's number one.
Yeah. What can I say? I came right on time.
Well, Miss
No,
Dana,
you
before
wanted
we
to be there, so
conclude,
that was great.
Yeah, I was very determined to work there. I would not leave her alone at all.
now you just gotta, open another branch.
Oh
Have a
gosh,
Tallahassee location, a Miami location.
Mm,
There
that's
you
that's
go.
possible. That's
it is
possible.
possible. It is possible.
Well, before we conclude, can you tell everyone how they would be able to reach Knots and Names?
My goodness, we are not so Maine. We're located in Railroad Square. Our address is 625-14 Railroad Square. We're open 7 days a week from 12 to 8. And honey, what's our phone number? It's eight
Our
five
phone-
zero 328 uh 0320.
That's a new phone number now. Don't
I
we
know, I
don't
can't remember. Anyway, you can
we just
find our information on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
All
So for
right.
Facebook, it's Knots and Maine. So it's KNOTZ, the and sign, and then Maine, MANE. For the Instagram, it's Knots Maine. It's no and sign. So it's just KNOTZ, MANE. That's the easiest way to get in contact with
Yeah,
any of us, because we're all logged
yeah.
in. So you'll just DM, and then you'll probably see a signature, and it's like one message is Honey and the
One
next
of
one is
us.
Ray, and then down there is
One
Dana,
of
and it's
us.
just like you never know who you're talking to. You're probably talking to all of us at the same
Right,
time.
right.
Okay.
But one of us will get back to you.
Yeah, or we'll text, hey, somebody looking for you, and you gonna find your way there.
Yeah,
Not somebody looking for you. Well, Miss Dana,
All
I
right.
absolutely.
appreciate you spending your time with us and giving us this great information. And I look forward to meeting you in person. I need to come by, not to Maine
Yes.
myself. I need to
Well,
come
I
by
was on
there.
my way there. I just assumed that I was coming there, so I was getting dressed and I was coming, and honey was like, "Oh no, it's Zoom." But I was like, "That's fine,"
Oh.
because the grandkids just left. I was like, "Oh, Zoom is perfect." So,
Mm.
but I
Well,
do
that
look forward to
is,
meeting you in person.
yes, ma'am. And I thank you again. And so we are going to conclude this episode of the Wellness Social Worker Podcast. And we will see you again.
Thank you. You have a great day. Bye.